me again. Brain's going crazy. Can't hold it. Current thought stream is on evolution of the human consciousness, or the thinking ability of humans. If you go back to the early 1900s, your sometimes great-great-great-grandparents, the majority of the stresses they had in their lives were physical. They didn't have to think overly hard about a lot of things. Machinery was very simple. The mechanics of how things worked was still very simple. You have a lifestyle that's very simple. You worked all day, you had dinner, you went to bed. You worked all day, you had dinner, you went to bed. Alarm. So you might go to a musical, you might go see, go see a traveling act of some sort. You go to bed. On Sunday, you'd go to church, you'd have dinner, you'd go to bed. Your life was very simple then. Yeah, you got enjoyment out of experience, but the majority of your stress, your actual stress, was physical. So your body adapted, and that's what we did. Eventually, through the Industrial Revolution and whatnot, through the mid-30s, all the way through the 50s, machinery got more complicated. All of our equipment we're using takes a lot more thought processing. The tasks that we're doing have a lot more steps involved. You need to be a lot more meticulous with a lot of the stuff you're doing. And a lot bigger of the populace had to learn how to do that. You didn't have 95% of your populace who were farming and only 5% who had mental stress. After the 50s or 60s, you had 95%, 96% of your populace now has mental stress as well as physical stress. So with the added mental stress throughout the decades, if Darwin's theory of evolution is correct, then our brains are going to evolve to make this processing of the stress easier. That's what evolution does, if he's right. It makes you evolve to make your life easier to help you survive. So if all of this additional added mental stress of our forefathers caused our brains to evolve and process at a different rate than our previous generations, our brains would be functioning at a higher level. We would be very difficult children to deal with. And when you have both parents working to keep their house, to keep the lights on, to get what the TV tells them they should want, when you have both parents working and you've got a kid whose brain is overactive, going 90 miles an hour, I can see why I would be classified as a disability. I can see why parents would medicate me, because I wanted to know the why about everything. And when me and my first wife were both working, I know how stressful that is. Especially in this economy, this world. Our reality breeds people who think like me. Yeah, some of them are classified as autistic, but if you look into the autism spectrum, There's a razor sharp edge between autism and idiot savant. That's a word everybody should look up. Idiot savant. Blatant, outright supercomputer genius. But lacking all social skills. Their brain processes so fast that they can memorize an entire orchestral piece, note for note, upon hearing it one time. But they can't go to McDonald's and order a hamburger. The 1 out of 6 kids right now that's being treated for ADD or autism or any of the above spectrum of disorders that they're relating directly to vaccinations very well could be partially triggered because of the vaccinations, but it also has the same likelihood of being our brains trying to evolve to be able to cope with the mental stress that all of our parents have been under because of capitalism. You can downplay it as much as you want, but our current currency system in the US and the world is greed-based, and we all realize it. So deep down, we all know that fucking over other people to benefit yourself is wrong. You know deep down that it's wrong. But that's what you have to do to make it in this reality. There's one group of people on the planet who should be looked at as the smartest people in the world. If there's one group of people that group is the one who we currently classify as mentally retarded. Think about it. You get with a full-on mentally retarded person or a person with Down syndrome. They would die trying to help somebody else. They would die to try to help a kitten that had fallen in a river. They would give you the shirt off their back, even if it was cold outside, if you said you were cold. They would help an old lady across the street. They would carry in 900 pounds of groceries just if you asked them, because they knew it would make you happy. And making you happy was far more important than any physical discomfort they might have. Sorry, I'm overly emotional this morning for some reason. But the true geniuses of a humanitarian society are the ones who have the absolute most love for humanity. That would be the mentally retarded. The ones we're taught to scorn and to make fun of and ridicule and feel sorry for. They're the ones who would keep the planet green, and nobody would ever be uncomfortable. Making people happy is more important than their own physical discomfort. They could work for 3 solid hours, and if they got a smile out of you, and if they got a hug out of you, that 3 hours of work they just did was well worth it. Because now you're happy. And in their eyes, that's all that matters. The people are happy. Because when you're retarded, that's the only thing that matters. Whether or not you're happy or not. That's it. They don't process, I gotta pay bills. They don't process, I have to do this job. I have to put up with this. I have to go shopping. They don't. All they care about is, are you happy? Why aren't you happy? I'm happy. I want to make you happy. Alright, I gotta get off here. Rambled on long enough. Talk to you later.